To activate sport mode, use the drive mode selector on the steering wheel. Your driver cluster changes, sport mode activated, let's go. When Hyundai first introduced the Ioniq 5, it quickly became a head turner due to its futuristic good looks, impressive range, fast charging, and definitely because of its affordability. Now, because this particular model was only introduced a little over a year ago, not too much is going to change for 2023. However, that said, a few things will change. For 2023, the Hyundai Ioniq 5's price will increase anywhere from $1,500 to $4,000, depending on your trim level and market location. The previously introduced preconditioning battery system found in the all-wheel drive or long-range models will now be available across all trims. Max tow rating will increase from 1,650 pounds to 2,500 pounds, and the overall range will increase as well. The base trim rear-wheel drive will now offer 354 kilometers. The rear-wheel drive long range will now offer 488 kilometers, and the all-wheel drive long range will now offer 428 kilometers. Keep in mind, these range estimates are based on the 19-inch wheel and tire combination, which are standard on the Ioniq 5. So to be more specific this week, I'm reviewing the preferred trim in Canada, or essentially the SE standard range in the US. This is equipped with a 58 kilowatt hour battery pack, and it's producing 168 electric horsepower, which is far below the electric horsepower that the top trim offers. But still, with 258 pound-feet of torque, it's a lot of fun off the line. To activate sport mode, use the drive mode selector on the steering wheel. Your driver cluster changes, sport mode activated, let's go. Ooh, not going anywhere. It would be very beneficial if you put it into drive first. Let's go. All right, still amazing. To maximize your range, regardless of which trim level you purchase, I recommend using Eco or normal mode over Sport, obviously. However, Sport is fun and mostly convenient when merging onto highways. While maneuvering through stop-and-go traffic, make sure to activate your I-pedal setting, which is the highest level of braking regeneration found in the Ioniq 5. And just like the Kia EV6 and Genesis GV60 vehicles I reviewed, your driving modes and braking regeneration settings are conveniently located on your steering wheel. You just heard me reference the Kia EV6, which is very much a competitor to the Ioniq 5. But another competitor you might want to consider is the Mustang Mach-E. Look down in the description below and I'll provide you with competitive comparisons. Now, when it comes to charging, there's 3 different levels of charging. You have your level 1, which is your traditional 3-prong outlet. It's super slow, but I'll circle back to that in a second. Then you have level 2. Level 2 you could have installed at your home, or you'll find in most small parking lots or grocery stores. And then you have your level 3. Level 3 is your DC fast charging, and Hyundai suggests that you'll be able to charge up to 80% full within 18 minutes. Now that is super impressive. But like I said, back to that level 1, because I don't have an at-home charger. So I've been driving on average this week about 35 to 40 minutes a day, and the lowest I've gotten my battery is 50%. I leave my vehicle charged in for 12 hours overnight, and I gain 23% of battery. Now, if I'm driving on suburban streets and on the highway, if I leave it in eco mode but want to have some fun in sport mode, I use anywhere from 17% to 29% range. So, leaving your vehicle charged overnight for a 12-hour span using level 1 charging is fine. When it comes to driver-assisted technology, Hyundai remains consistent with continuously offering owners a generous amount of standard driving aids from their Smart Sense lineup. Features such as navigation-based Smart Cruise, Curve, and Stop-and-Go controls are all standard, along with popular features like forward collision avoidance assist with car, pedestrian, and cyclist detection. In addition to lane keep assist, lane follow assist, blind spot collision avoidance assist, and a rear view camera with guidelines and cross traffic alert are all standard. So again, to clarify, this week I'm reviewing the rear wheel drive preferred trim in Canada, or essentially the SE standard range trim in the US. So some driver and passenger comfort is lost, but not all. And that said, the seats throughout are stain resistant cloth, not leather, and the driver's seat is power operated, whereas the passenger seat is manually operated. I'm also missing the adjustable middle center console and gorgeous vision sunroof. However, across all trims, you'll receive a remote starter on your key fob, which allows you to preheat or cool your cabin in advance. The well-illustrated dual 12.3 digital screens are also standard across all trims, along with navigation, Android Auto with Apple CarPlay. If you prefer a wireless connection and a mobile charge pad, then opt for the top trim Ioniq 5. As for storage, it's so impressive. The side doors throughout the middle, the glove box, center console, you're provided with more than enough adequate space, whether you're going to work or taking the family on a road trip. Even connectivity is on par or better than the competition in the base trim, with Hyundai including one 12-volt port and 3 USB ports up front. But back to the 12.3 fully digital touchscreen, so easy to use. Do not be intimidated by it. What I recommend that you do when you sit down with your Hyundai specialist, look for the setup icon and then select vehicle. This allows you to adjust all of those driver convenience or inconvenience beeping that you don't like, right? Really easy. Then I recommend that you go through your navigation system and look up points of interest, because this will help you find all your EV charging towers and stations. Also, parking, restaurants is super convenient. Then you're going to want to look for this EV icon. I love this EV icon because wherever your battery percentage is, by the time I get to my destination, it will tell me how much I have left. Then it also readjusts itself when you're using or not using your climate control. So I love this system. Do not be intimidated by it. So again, I just said it, but to repeat, this week I'm reviewing the base trim. So some passenger comfort is lost back here. For example, this seat is not heated and I do not have the sunshade blockers on either side. But overall space for guests is still super impressive. If you're familiar with my channel, you know I'm only 5'3", so I never complain about head or leg space. But if you're traveling with small kids or teenagers, even taller adults, trust me when I say they will not complain. If you require even more space, well, these seats move forwards and backwards and they recline. So that comfort and that convenience is not lost. Even the storage is really good for a compact crossover. So you have space on either side for small water bottles, enough snacks. You even have some space down here for some snacks. And behind both front seats, you are provided with mesh pockets. So just be careful you don't lose small items. And then of course, when nobody's sitting in the middle, you can take advantage of your 2 traditional cup or bottle holders that goes on top of the center armrest. And again, Hyundai continues to be impressive with its connectivity. So backseat passengers have available 2 USB ports. So unfortunately, Smart Trunk isn't offered on the base trim Ioniq 5, meaning you'll need to manually open your liftgate. Towing is also not recommended on the base trim, but you are offered just over 1,000 pounds in overall payload capacity, and this includes what you can store on top of your Ioniq 5 and inside with passengers. Max cargo capacity with the seats down in their 60-40 split configuration is just shy of 1,700 liters, or 59.3 cubic feet to be exact. And the small front trunk, or essentially frunk, adds less than 1 cubic foot, or 24 liters. A cargo cover will be available on the upper trims, but with the base trim, you still receive one 12-volt port and one small light. And under the floor trunk, which is both adjustable and removable, you'll find available space for storage under there and your tire mobility kit. But let's talk about driving. So first of all, sport mode, okay? Obviously, a lot of instant torque, and sport mode is sport mode in the EV. It's fun. But the steering is where they sold me, because it gets really tight and heavy and you can feel everything about the vehicle. I love it, but it kills your battery range, so watch how much fun you have with sport mode. Then adaptive cruise control, well done. When you're using it in traffic, it doesn't move all over the place, so that's good. It's well balanced. When it comes to visibility, I like how, you know, everything's digital, right? It's huge. So I don't need a heads-up display, which is available in the top trim, but I don't necessarily require it. Through that A-pillar, when you're making a left-hand turn, watch your seating position. If you sit low like me, that side mirror is going to be a little bit in your way, but if you're sitting up a little bit higher, that's fine. Out the sides, it's really, really good, but you do have a blind spot out that C-pillar, so make sure you're looking over your shoulder, or, you know, hey, use your blind spot monitoring. If you purchase the top trim, then you're going to receive video blind spot monitoring, and that's when a video is projected through your digital driver cluster, and it's my favorite safety feature in the business. I wish every vehicle actually offered that. Overall comfort, amazing. Again, base trim, rear-wheel drive, I still receive the heated seats, heated steering wheel. I wish I had the option of the panoramic sunroof. What's also great about Genesis, Kia, and this Hyundai is it has vehicle to load capabilities. So if you need to plug in small appliances, or if you're going camping and even need to use your hair dryer, you can plug those small appliances in or a hair dryer in, and it will still work for you. Just make sure you preset it so you don't use all of your battery, right, while you're doing that. When it comes to overall noise quality in here, I find that it is pretty windy when you start getting up to about 120, 125 kilometers an hour. But full transparency, I also have winter tires on, so that did not help with overall cabin noise, right? So if I had to do a comparison in between the Kia EV6 and this one, I would say the Kia EV6 was quieter, but again, I'm not comparing apples to apples there because this has winter tires on. But what I like to do in all my videos is recommend a test drive, because test drives are complimentary. So look down in the description. I provide you with all the links. I provide you with competitive comparisons. I try to make your purchasing decision easier for you. And while you're down there, make sure you subscribe and connect with me on social media so you don't miss any behind the scenes action. Thanks for watching, guys.